Okay, so just a quick update on the Land Rover project. There's a few things I've got to get done before I can get the German equivalent of the MOT. Obvious stuff like refitting the bonnet, finishing the rear floor in the tub. So that's actually what you can see on the top there. I sprayed that blue with marine blue yesterday. It's getting a bit warmer over here, and yesterday was also a sunny day just like today. So I was able to get a couple of coats on that. I'm going to put a clear coat on that and then fit it. Just round there, which I don't know if you can see in the camera lens, but are the supports for that, the 3 supports. They're all done and ready to go. Other than that, the electrics are done. I've got the hazard lights installed and they all work perfectly. I've got my left-hand drive lights, all the lights work properly. But other than that, there's some cosmetic things. So I'm just doing I bought a set of new sides for the hardtop, which are the correct windows, the correct square windows for that for this year. When I had this car done, it restored about 20 odd years ago, I had some Defender windows put in the side, which has been fine, but it doesn't look quite right, so I'm getting those done. But that can happen after the MOT because, as I say, it's just an aesthetic thing. So otherwise, I've got the new set of alloys here, which are just down here. Oh, you can just see here, not alloys obviously. They are Defender rims, which are tubeless. As I said before, I bought these on eBay for a pretty good price. I had them delivered here from West Germany. It was a guy who's got a 110 and upgraded his wheels and virtually never used these. You can see the tread. I mean, they've been used, but he said it's about a year's use, so you can see the tread on there is excellent. I think he said brand new tyres are 13mm and these are about 11 or 12, so they're pretty good. And I've cleaned them up. I cleaned them up yesterday because I want to rub them down and repaint these in limestone just to match the rest of the car. Because in black, I don't really like them. But they're a good tyre. Goodyear Wrangler, quite well known, and got a good profile. So, and also they'll pass the MOT over here because the ones I've got on the Land Rover at the moment, they're all different. So there are 2 different tyre types on the same axle, and that's not allowed over here. So not so much of a problem in the UK, but over here it's not legal, so they all have to be matching. So I've got those done. I'm hoping to rub those down today and give them a couple of coats of the limestone. Okay, so I've also started cleaning up the new wheels and tyres that I've got for the Land Rover. They are a set of Defender Wolf rims, which are a bit thicker, and I quite like the holes that are in them as well. That's just an aesthetics thing, but they are also tubeless, which means you can run a different tyre on them. The cross plies I've got on there at the moment, the original rims, they're a bit basic, and these aren't taller than the ones. These are 235/85 R16s, which are, I think, the biggest you can put on the Land Rover without things starting to rub on the chassis. And they're just a bit wider. So, and they're radial tyres as well, which hopefully means it will give us a bit of drive or a bit of ride. But I got these on eBay, which were got a really good deal really, because they're original Land Rover rims and excellent quality tyres, and I paid 350 euros for them, which is, I don't know, 320 quid or something. But they've cleaned up really well, but I'm going to rub them down a little bit and paint them in the magnolia to match the ones that are on there, because black, I just don't like the black. So, but I've cleaned them all up, they're looking pretty good. I was umming and ahhing whether I'd leave the weights on there or not, or take them off to do it properly, but I've just thought for the hassle, I'm just going to mask them over and paint round them. Because reweighting them just means more time and more cost, where actually it's no big deal and I'll probably never have to reweight them again because I really won't drive the Land Rover much, but there it is. So next step is to let them dry and then rub them down and then paint them. But yeah, just a quick look at the weather. That's what we're looking like outside. It's absolutely beautiful. So going through here, as I said, bonnet needs to go on. Interior is pretty much done. There's my steering wheel with the homemade cap that I got on there, because they're about 50 quid if you want to buy them new, so just trying to save a bit of money where possible. I left it pretty much original in here. I mean, obviously that's a new bulkhead, but the floor panels I've sealed in with seam sealant, so they're all nice and weatherproof. But I could paint them later, but I've left it at the moment. In the back here, it's all a bit dark really, but as I say, there's still a floor missing, but that is coming along nicely. So those are the parts there for it. I can't quite remember what they're called. Cross members or ribs or something, I can't remember, but they're the supports for the floor, and there's 3 of those. And as I say, there is the floor which I painted yesterday, and hopefully is dry today for a clear coat. But otherwise, here are the sills. I did the sills yesterday as well. They're looking pretty nice. Do a clear coat on there too. That is the right hand side, so driver's side, rear hardtop side as it were, which I haven't touched at all yet. And as I say, this is the other side, which I've dismantled and got all the tiny screws out. I've bought all of the parts I need for that, including new runners, and I'm going to spray that with the same limestone at some point soon. But I can't wait for that, because it's going to look pretty fantastic on the Land Rover when it's done. Because these, as I say, they're fine. I mean, I think they look quite good. They actually match with the rear windows, but they're not periods. So I'm going to get that changed. So that's how we are progressing. As I said about the tyres, I mean, I'll always keep these because they're absolutely perfectly fine set of rims and tyres, and they're really good, good profile on those tyres. But as I say, they don't match. So the front 2 match, but the rear 2 don't. So I'll put the really good one, probably that one, as a spare in the back. But yeah, I'll do a little bit of an update later on in the day when I've made some more progress. But that's where we are now. Okay, so I've put about 3 coats on this, and because it was my first wheel, I was just getting used to the compressor, and it's actually rung quite a bit. So what I'm going to have to do is wait for this to dry and then sand it down. So I'm just going to take it off for the first time. Which is always quite fun. See where we've got some on the tyre there, just have to clean that off. Whoops, there we go. Off there. Get off these weights. Come on. That's it. Might have to do some touching up there. Yeah, but nothing too drastic. Oh, I'll get off. And then off this. No, I might be taking this off a bit early, but I've read somewhere, or in fact I've seen on YouTube before, that most people tell you to take any tape off when the paint is still actually wet. It's going to get a bit of acetone, which is probably not the best thing for the tyre, but just going to get that paint off there. That's it. Oh, and I've just gone and splashed the rim, a freshly painted rim with an oily rag, which is great, but otherwise, yeah, I think that looks alright. As I say, a bit of touching up there to do around the wheel weights, but I'm really pleased with that. Looks fantastic. Looks so much better than the black. Can't wait to get them on the car. And otherwise, over here, still got to do another coat on that one, and might do another one on that one, and definitely another couple on this one, because this is the last one I did. Okay, so it's another lovely sunny morning here. Just come up to the workshop to do a bit of work on the Land Rover. Last weekend I did the wheels, which have turned out really nicely, so they're all dry now. And yeah, I'm probably gonna pump them up, get the tyres up to pressure, and put them on the car. So I bought this yesterday, which is a pressure gauge, which fits onto the compressor, because otherwise it takes forever to pump these massive tyres up. So that's one of the jobs for today. Whoops. Well, it's very dark in here and it's very sunny outside, so the camera's messing about a bit. So we're going to take these off and put the new ones on. Okay, so I've got them all up to pressure at 32 psi. I'm going to check the book later on just to see if they need to be actually a bit more than that. But that's what I used to run them at. But now I'm going to jack the car up using this because my trolley jack broke. So I found this in the hall here, in the you know, my workshop here. So I'm going to use that. So that's the first time the Land Rover has been on those new rims, and I don't know if you can see, but it really does. This is more to the, something to do with the suspension, but it really looks like it's tipping to the front, which is a bit weird. I've had problems with these paddock motor or paddock spares springs in the past. They've already sent me a new set for the front, and the online reviews are not very good, which is a bit frustrating because when I read them they were quite good, but obviously they've been producing them for a while, and I know they had to change their supplier because the quality was bad, but I don't know, we'll have to see how we get on with them. But anyway, I think that looks really cool. Whoops, I've got a camper van in the way here. A colleague of mine has parked his camper van in here. But yeah, otherwise I think that looks really cool. I'm going to get it out in the light as well. I've got to fit that sill, but quite pleased with that.